Say, it's on. Kahala Yahweh by Shemi Hawashai, by Shema Kakadash, Brakti Hawa, Brakti Hawashai, Brakta Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Green Millstone. They continue to teach me this truth and overall well. Shalom. So this is kind of like a pseudo response video to the most recent video that Apostle Ramlam created, and I just had that spirit come upon me just to go into it. I have this book here called The Black Jacobins by C.L.R. James. Back before the Crown Vic Royale, I used to work at a kind of library at my so-called college, and it was like a sort of it wasn't really like an official library. It was more like a place where students who didn't want their books, they would just throw them off and put them in this room. And I used to have shifts there, and I would get these books for free. So that's how I got my hands on this book. I got my hands on a bunch of other books I'll probably go into in some time. Books on Socrates, books about the economy, books about civilizations. I even found the damn Aeneid, man. That book is about Ionice, like the Greek mythology and shit like that. I might go into that just to really poke fun at it, because the book is actually very funny. It's hilarious. It's a complete bullshit, of course, but I mean, I can't believe people who believe in that. All right, so this is page 38 of The Black Jacobins by C.L.R. James, Toussaint Louverture, and the San Domingo Revolution. Okay. And this is talking about, Edomites that came into, Haiti. And, mostly he's talking about Haiti. And, let me see. Haiti and Dominican Republic. Places like that, pretty much just Haiti and Dominican Republic, and started to oppress the people and all that, and what they did to them while they were enslaved. So, once again, this is 38, page 38. They divided the offspring of white and black and intermediate shades into 128 divisions. So, they took the skin colors and divided them into 128 different skin tones. The true mulatto was a child of the pure black and the pure white. The child of the white and the mulatto woman was a quarteron with 96 parts white and 32 parts black. But the quarteron could be produced by the white and the marabout in the proportion of 88 to 40. Let's look at what marabout is, because it's been a minute since I read this book. The quarteron by the weight in the marabout. Alright, go back. Marabout, slavery. There's something on this. Alright, well, it's not there. I'm not finding it. Moving on. Or by the white in the Sakatra, which I just found that out. That's a black woman who has a white baby, so give birth to an Edomite. And the proportion of 72 to 56, and so on, all throughout the 128 varieties. But the Sang Mali, with 127 parts and one black part, was still a man of color. See? So if you even have 1 ounce of black in you, you're still black. Or some of those guys, you may possibly have some Israelites mixed up in there, because those white boys, you didn't really just have French that came in there. You had some Italians, you had a bunch of different people down there, because I don't really it's been a while since I really looked at the history of it. But you had a bunch of different European nations, pirates and buccaneers from all across Europe and this land fighting over it. So some of these guys in here, could have been some Jake, you know. But continuing on, enslaved society, the mere possession of personal freedom is a valuable privilege, and the laws of Greece and Rome testify that severe legislation against slaves and freedmen have nothing to do with the race question. Behind all this elaborate tomfoolery, Quateron, Sacatra, and Marabu was the one dominating fact of San Domingo society. Was the one dominating fact of San Domingo society, the fear of the slaves. The mothers of mulattoes were in the slave gangs. They had half-brothers there. And however much the mulatto himself might despise his half of his origin, he was at home among the slaves, and in addition to his wealth and education could have an influence among them which a white man could never have. Furthermore, apart from physical terror, the slaves were to be kept in subjection by associating inferiority and degradation with the most obvious distinguishing mark of the slave, the black skin. Few of the slaves being able to read, the colonists did not hesitate to say openly, it is essential to maintain a great distance between those who obey and those who command. One of the surest means of doing this is a perpetuation of the imprint that slavery has once given. No mulatto, therefore, whatever his number of white parts, was allowed to assume the name of his father. Which, those are guys are going into those, those jakes. It goes back into, I'm actually gonna go get it. Let me stop talking. And that sounds already familiar to me through the spirit, like something I just now read. Okay. Let me actually get my charger. So, Slovakia, please bear with me here while I get my charger. Hold on. Okay, got the charger so I can keep this lesson. This lesson may go a little bit, longer, but okay. Yep. So this is Matthew chapter 14. And this is Yahushua speaking. The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which has sowed good seed. Let me turn the phone this way. It's going to be kind of hard to see if I turn it sideways. The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of his household came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence did it have tares? That's going into that rape that came in, Esau. And he saith unto them, An enemy hath done this. The servants said, Go to him. What wilt thou then, that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, you root up the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, Gather ye together the first tares, and bind them in the bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. We're gonna stop there at verse 30. But the reapers represent the angels, of course, right? And we're the wheat, and the Edomites are the tares. But some tares that are gonna come with us, that are blended back into the population. All right. Now, let's see if this is really so hard um, to believe. You know, you have a person that's like mixed race, right? And you know, as you have here, mulatto. Then that mulatto woman get with another white man, right? I'll say that mulatto child then gets with the, say one of them is a daughter and somehow gets with the black man, which you know that happened, right? And those two have an offspring that goes right back into Israelites, right? And that child goes back out and gets back with white woman. Then they create child and more white people. Then you know over time they kind of get whited out, but that they still have that one Negro drop within their entire chain, within their entire bloodline. You know. Now there was another point that I wanted to get in here. There was something that I wanted. They would I remember reading this book that they would send them to fight against each other, but let's see. Yeah, I can't find it at the moment. Um, pretty much, you know, believe it or not. If you don't want to believe me, you know, that's your prerogative. But we know that the same thing happened in America. Um, they would set it up so that, hold on. Yep, okay, there it is. I found it. The Wadi Howa by Shimi Hawashai. So this is page 43 of the same book. Remember, The Black Jacobins by C.L.R. James, Toussaint Louverture, and the San Domingo Revolution. Okay? Black slaves and mulattoes hated each other. Even while in words and by their success in life and many other actions, mulattoes demonstrated the falseness of the white claim to inherit white superiority. Yet the man of color who was nearly white despised the man of color who was only half white, who in turn despised the man of color who was only a quarter white, and so on through all the shades. The free blacks, comparatively speaking, were not many, and so despised was the black skin that even a mulatto slave felt himself superior to the free black man. The mulatto, rather than be a slave to a black, would have killed himself. Yep. So that's what you got. That's what I was really looking for. You know, the society. You know, this is what happens when the wicked are in rulership. They set up the mixed race to fight the half race, and the half race to fight the pure Israelite, man. You know, which those mixed blooded Israelites back there, which really weren't Israelites, they were Edomites, because it all goes back to your father. Yeah, I'm gonna go get that as well. I don't really want to do too many talking. Just really want to, you know, not make this video too long. So this is Numbers chapter 1 verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and outwards by their polls. So once again, it goes to the fathers, man. You know, and they were counting the men. So those guys back then, those mixed race with the Edomite daddy, those are white boys. And if they breed with a black woman, and those are more, you know, white boys, because the line still goes down, you know. It then kind of gets you know, you got some darker brothers. That means you got some brown brothers that could really be Edomites, and you got some Edomite looking guys that are really Israelites. You know, it gets very complicated. Okay. So going back down, I want to go back to the scriptures I wanted. Yep. Uh, this is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. And when you read that book about the Haitian, the book is mainly about the Haitian Revolution, but it also covers slavery. We were brought down very low. They were torturing us, all sorts of butt breaking, and I even read in this book. I remember reading like the first chapter. They would even blow slaves up. Like they'd fill his mouth with gunpowder and light it on fire and blow his head off. You know, which they're gonna have this, man. Those things are gonna come back to them. All right, so let's see what I want next. Yeah, I think I'll go to Revelation. This is Revelation chapter 18. Yeah. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not her of her plagues, her philosophies, her doctrines. For her sins have reached into heaven, for Yahweh hath remembered her iniquities, reported even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works, and the cup which she hath filled to her double. But we're going to do those same things to them in the kingdom, be the Lord's will. We're going to, we're going to face them and pit these Edomites against each other, But if we take their woman and we pop their woman, then that's an Israelite child. We're not going to kick the kid off to the curb and say, all right, you get the hell out of here. We never did that. When these Edomite women become our concubines, those offsprings, they're going to come with us. And also that woman is going to be brought very, very low. She's not going to be talking all that shit that she used to do before the kingdom. She going to be put in her spit in her place, man. It'll actually be a blessing to her to come with us. She'll be begging for it, man. All right. Moving on. This is pertaining back into the original point. This is Mark chapter 3, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, the house cannot stand. If Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. But that's going into Esau. Like today, they're up against each other now. You got liberal, and you got Republican. You got all these different shades in between. Democrat, Republican, the shades in between, all the way to the left, all the way to the right. You know what it is. Liberal and conservative. You got people that are for the needle. You got people that aren't for the needle, and those are just Edomites. We're not talking about Jakes, But his kingdom cannot stand because they're just so divided against themselves. But going into our people suffered this too. Of course, through Esau's manipulations, he manipulated, and through his rape, he manipulated the mulattoes to fight against themselves. Because if they fight against themselves and the black man, fight against the mulattoes, which the mulattoes are really not even really so-called Negroes, they're white boys, we would just continue to fight between ourselves, All right, so let me see. I'm gonna get one more scripture. I think I have one more left in here. There it is, Matthew chapter 7. Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, and a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. 7:17. Okay, a good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth down not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them. Okay? That's mainly talking about those wicked scribes and Pharisees, in context, but that's also talking about you Edomites, man. You're a corrupt and horrible tree. Okay, you cannot commit this horrible atrocity called slavery and then come back 200 years later, say we're sorry, and think that's all is going to be forgiven. Okay, what happened is happened. What's done is done, and you Edomites are going to pay for it. You're going to be cast into the fire. You're going to be nuked, and those of you who aren't going to be nuked, we're going to catch you. You know, you elite ones that are going to hide in your bunkers, go to your space stations. We're going to see you in space, and we're going to have a lot of fun with you, man. All right, that's all I got for this, short. Oh, really not that short. For this small, lesson that the Spirit came upon me to go do. That's all I got. All blessings, glory, and honor be to Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai, by Shem Rakakadash. Shalom.